It was a cold Monday morning. The school bell rang, and children rushed into their classrooms laughing and talking. But one girl walked slowly behind everyone. Her name was Alina, a 12-year-old girl with tired eyes and bruises on her arms. Alina's uniform was old and torn. Her shoes had holes in them. She didn't speak to anyone. She just entered the class quietly and sat on the last bench, alone. As she sat down, a boy looked at her and covered his nose. "She smells," he shouted. The whole class laughed. Another girl giggled and said, "Did you sleep in a garbage can?" Everyone laughed louder. Alina didn't respond. She looked down at her hands and stayed silent. One student stood up and walked towards her. He pushed her school bag off the bench. The books fell to the ground. Alina quickly picked them up, her hands shaking. The teacher entered the room and told everyone to be quiet. The students sat down. Alina sat very still, trying not to be noticed. Her body hurt, but her heart hurt more. During the lesson, the teacher asked a simple question. "Alina, what is 9 multiplied by 7? Alina stood up slowly. Her lips trembled. She looked at the board but said nothing. The teacher frowned. "Speak. What's the answer?" Alina whispered. I don't know." Slap. The sound echoed in the classroom. The teacher slapped Alina hard on her cheek. Her face turned red, but she didn't cry. She just sat down again, holding her face. No one said anything. No one defended her. Everyone just watched. At lunch, children opened their lunch boxes, filled with sandwiches and fruit. Alina opened her empty bag. Nothing. No food. She had not eaten breakfast either. She looked out the window. Her stomach growled, but her face stayed calm. Then, she saw something. A black luxury car slowly stopped in front of the school gate. It was big and shiny. All the kids near the window turned their heads. "Who is that?" one boy asked. From the car, a tall man stepped out. He wore a black suit, polished shoes, and held a file in his hand. His face was serious. He walked with slow, strong steps into the school building. Alina's eyes widened. She stood up. Her legs were shaking. She kept looking at the man through the window. As he walked closer, her breathing got faster. The classroom door opened. The same man entered. All the students became quiet. Even the teacher looked confused. "Excuse me," the man said in a deep voice. "I need a moment." Alina was frozen. She stared at him like she had seen a ghost. The teacher asked, "Sir, can I help you?" The man did not answer. Instead, he looked directly at Alina. Everyone turned their heads toward her. Alina stepped back slowly. Her hands were shaking. The man slowly walked toward her. The whole class watched silently. Then, the man stopped and said one word, "Alina." The classroom went silent again. Alina's lips moved, but no sound came out. The classroom was so quiet that even the ticking clock on the wall felt loud. The man in the black suit looked at Alina again. His eyes were calm but serious. He said her name once more, softly this time. "Alina." Alina took a step back. Her face was pale. She had not heard her name spoken like that in a long time. With care. The teacher looked confused. "Do you know this student, sir?" The man nodded. "Yes, I need to talk to her." The students started whispering to each other. "Is he her dad? Is she in trouble? Why is he so rich?" The teacher cleared her throat. "Sir, we are in the middle of class." But the man interrupted. "This won't take long." Alina's hands were still shaking. She stood up slowly, her knees weak. The man gently said, "Come with me, Alina." Alina looked at the teacher. The teacher gave a small nod, unsure of what else to do. She followed the man out of the classroom, still silent. As they walked down the hallway, Alina kept her head down. When they reached a quiet bench outside the building, the man sat and looked at her. "Please sit down," he said. Alina sat on the edge of the bench, still looking at the ground. The man opened the file he was holding. Inside were a few papers, some photos, and a small notebook. He pulled out a photo and showed it to Alina. "This is you, isn't it?" he asked. Alina looked at the photo. It was her, younger, happier, wearing new clothes, holding a woman's hand. Tears filled her eyes. She nodded. The man closed the file. "I've been looking for you for a long time, Alina," he said gently. Alina blinked. "Why?" she whispered. The man paused. Then he spoke slowly. "Because I knew your mother." Alina's heart skipped a beat. My mother?" she asked in a tiny voice. "Yes," he replied. "She used to work for me many years ago." Alina's eyes widened. Her lips trembled. "She always spoke about you," the man continued. "She said you were smart and brave. She wanted you to go to school to become someone great." Alina looked down again. She died 2 years ago," she whispered. "I know," the man said sadly. "And I'm sorry." There was silence. For a moment, the cold wind touched their faces. Alina finally looked up at him. "Why are you here now?" The man took a deep breath. "Because I promised your mother I would help you, if anything happened to her." Alina was quiet. She didn't know what to say. "I didn't know where you had gone," he added. "After she passed, you disappeared." Alina nodded slowly. "I was sent to an orphanage. Then I ran away. They treated me badly." The man's face changed. His jaw tightened. "And now you're here, being hurt at school too?" Lena looked away, hiding tears. "No one wants me." The man gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "That's not true. You don't even know me," she whispered. He replied softly, "I don't need to know you. I knew your mother, and that's enough." Alina looked into his eyes for the first time. There was kindness in them, warmth, but before she could say anything else, a teacher came running toward them. "Sir, the principal wants to meet you," the teacher said nervously. The man stood. "Very well, Alina, stay here, I'll be right back." As he walked away, Alina sat still. Her mind was racing, her heart was heavy, but also hopeful. She didn't know what would happen next, but for the first time in a long time she felt something she had forgotten. Safe. Alina sat alone on the bench, her fingers shaking as she held the photo the man had left behind. It was still hard to believe. How did this stranger know her mother? Why did he come now after 2 years? She stared at the photo. It showed her younger self, smiling brightly beside her mother. They were standing outside a big house. She remembered that. Barely. It was her birthday. Her mother had bought her a red ribbon for her hair. Alina touched her messy braid now. No ribbon, no color, no joy. Suddenly, the man returned. His face was calm but serious. He sat beside her again and looked around before speaking. I spoke. "To your principal." Alina looked at him nervously. "Am I in trouble?" He shook his head. "No, but the school is." Alina was confused. "Why?" "I asked them a few questions," he said. "About your teachers, about how you've been treated." Alina looked away, her voice low. "They don't care, no one ever did." The man nodded slowly. "That changes today." Alina blinked. "What do you mean?" "I told the principal." "Everything," he explained. "I told him who I am. I told him I knew your mother and promised to protect you if she ever couldn't." Alina stayed quiet. "I also told him that I'll be donating money to the school," he added, "but only if the teachers change, and if they treat every child with respect, especially the ones like you." Alina's eyes widened. "They listened?" she asked. "They had no choice," he said with a soft smile. "Money speaks, but so does truth." Alina felt something warm inside her. Not just hope, but surprise. Someone had spoken for her, defended her. It had never happened before. "But why do all this?" she asked. "Why help me?" The man looked at her gently. "Because your mother once helped me, a long time ago when I had nothing." Alina looked confused. "I wasn't always rich," he explained. I was poor, homeless. I had no food, no job, no future. He paused. Your mother gave me food when I was starving. She helped me find a job. She believed in me when no one else did. Alina's eyes filled with tears. She saved my life, he whispered. Now it's my turn to save hers. Through you. Alina couldn't speak. She just looked at him with wide, wet eyes. He reached into his pocket and handed her a small box. Inside was a red ribbon, just like the one her mother gave her long ago. Alina held it tightly, her lips trembling. I've kept this all these years. The man said, Your mother gave it to me before she died. She told me, when you find my daughter, give her this. She'll remember me. Alina nodded slowly. She remembered. The ribbon. Her mother's smile. That birthday, the man stood up. Come, he said. I want to take you somewhere. Where? She asked. Somewhere safe, he replied. Somewhere warm. Alina stood up too, still holding the ribbon. As they walked toward the car, students stared from the windows. Some were silent. Some whispered. But none laughed now. Alina didn't care. For the first time in years, she walked with her head high. She didn't feel small anymore. She felt seen and protected. But deep inside, one question still remained. Was this man going to stay in her life? Or was this just for today? Alina sat quietly in the back seat of the shiny black car. She held the red ribbon tightly in her hand, afraid to let go. The man in the suit, Mr. Cameron, sat in the front seat, speaking softly to the driver. The car moved smoothly through the city, away from the busy school, away from the noise. Alina looked outside the window. She had no idea where they were going. She had never been inside such a big car before. The seats were warm. There was even a small screen in front of her, but Alina didn't touch anything. She stayed still, scared to break something. Are you okay? Mr. Cameron turned around and asked kindly. Alina nodded. Yes, sir. You don't need to call me sir. He smiled. Just Cameron is fine. Alina didn't reply. Her voice was still too small. Her heart was still unsure. After some time, the car entered a quiet neighborhood. There were big houses, clean roads, green trees. Birds chirped, and the wind was soft. Alina stared outside. It looked like a dream. The car stopped in front of a large white house with a red roof and tall gates. This is where I live, Cameron said. Come, I want to show you something. Alina stepped out slowly, holding her old school bag close. Her torn shoes made soft sounds on the stone floor. The gate opened and a guard smiled at her. Inside, the garden was full of flowers. There was even a small swing. Cameron opened the front door and let her in. Alina gasped. The house was beautiful, clean, warm, full of light. A soft smell of food came from the kitchen. She had never seen anything like it. He led her to a small room filled with books and paintings. This, Cameron said, pointing to a photo on the wall, was your mother. Alina stepped closer. It was a picture of her mother, young and smiling, holding a cup of tea. She used to work in this very house, Cameron said. She was like family to us. She took care of my sick mother. She cooked, cleaned, and always smiled. Alina's eyes filled with tears again. She told me about you, he added. Every day. She said you were her whole world. Alina touched the photo gently. She used to sing to me every night, she whispered. I still remember her songs. Cameron nodded. She loved you more than anything. There was silence. Then Alina turned to him and asked the question she had been holding inside. If she loved me so much, why did no one come for me when she died? Cameron's face grew serious. I was out of the country when it happened, he said quietly. She died in an accident. I didn't know until months later. When I returned, I searched everywhere. But you were gone. Alina looked down. I was sent to a faraway village, she said, then brought to this city by distant relatives. But they didn't want me. They sent me to school just to avoid questions. No one really cared. Cameron sat beside her. I care, he said firmly, and I won't leave you again. Alina looked into his eyes. For the first time, she believed someone. "I want to show you one more thing," he said. He opened a drawer and pulled out an envelope. "This is a letter your mother wrote for you," he said. Alina's hands shook as she took the envelope. She opened it slowly and began to read. "My dear Alina, if you're reading this, I am no longer with you, but my love always is. I want you to be strong, brave, and kind. Someone good will come for you. Someone who loves you like I do. Trust him. And never forget, you deserve love, happiness, and a full life." Alina broke down crying. Cameron placed a comforting hand on her back. "You're not alone anymore," he said. "This is your home now, if you want it to be." Alina looked around the room at the photo, the letter, the ribbon still in her hand. Maybe, just maybe, this was the start of something new, but deep inside she still feared. What if this is all temporary? What if life pulls her back into pain again? Could happiness really last? The next morning, sunlight poured gently through the windows of Cameron's home. Alina opened her eyes slowly. For a moment she forgot where she was. She looked around the soft, warm room. The bed was soft. The blanket smelled clean. A small teddy bear sat beside her pillow. For the first time in many years, she had slept peacefully. She sat up and rubbed her eyes. Her school bag lay on a chair. But it was no longer torn. Someone had fixed it. Just then, a gentle knock on the door. Cameron stepped in with a tray of breakfast. "Good morning," he said with a smile. "I thought you might be hungry." Alina's eyes widened at the food. Bread, butter, eggs, even warm milk. She had never seen such a meal just for her. "Thank you," she whispered. Cameron sat beside her as she ate slowly. "I have something important to ask you," he said. "Would you like to stay here? Live here? With me?" Alina froze, the spoon in her hand. I don't know," she said honestly. Cameron nodded. "You don't have to decide right now. Take your time." After breakfast, Cameron took her to a room filled with clothes. A lady smiled and helped her pick out a simple but new school uniform. And shoes. Alina looked at herself in the mirror. She didn't recognize the girl staring back, clean, dressed, almost happy. "Ready to go to school?" Cameron asked. She hesitated. "Do I have to go back?" "Only if you want to," he replied. "But I'll come with you today." At school, students whispered as the black car arrived again. Alina stepped out wearing her new uniform, holding Cameron's hand. The bullies watched in shock. The teacher who had once slapped her stood frozen. Cameron walked straight to the principal's office. Inside, he placed files, photos, and documents on the table. "This child," Cameron said firmly, "was hurt in your school, not once, but many times." The staff ignored it. The students laughed. And no one stood up for her. The principal tried to speak, but Cameron raised a hand. "I am a lawyer and a public speaker, and I'm about to speak loudly." Alina watched as Cameron calmly but powerfully told the truth. Every word was for her. He didn't shout. He didn't insult, but his voice carried weight and truth. By the end of the meeting, the principal apologized to Alina and promised to make things right. As they left the room, a few students even looked at her with respect. Alina didn't know what to feel. In just 2 days, her life had changed more than in all her years before. That evening at home, Cameron brought out a dusty box. "This belonged to your mother," he said. Inside were small things: a necklace, a diary, a photo of Alina as a baby. Tears welled in her eyes. She held the necklace close to her heart. Cameron sat beside her. "Your mother was the bravest person I knew, and now I see her strength in you." Alina looked at him. "Why are you doing all this for me?" He smiled gently. "Because no child should grow up thinking they are unwanted. And because your mother once saved my life, now I want to save yours." Cameron stood still, holding his phone tightly. His face had turned pale. Alina noticed it immediately. "Who was it?" she asked softly, stepping closer. Cameron slowly put the phone down. Someone I didn't expect to hear from again. Alina waited. The silence in the room felt heavy. Cameron finally looked at her. It was your father. Alina's eyes widened. My father, I thought he left us years ago. Kamran nodded. He did. After your mother passed away, he disappeared. But now, he says he wants to see you. Alina's hands started to shake. Why now? Why not all these years? I don't know, Kamran said gently. But he's coming tomorrow. Alina didn't sleep that night. She sat by the window staring at the stars. Her heart was full of confusion, fear, anger, and hope all mixed together. The next morning, a black SUV stopped in front of the house. Kamran opened the door and a tall man stepped out. Alina stood behind Kamran, hiding slightly. The man had tired eyes, a rough face, and messy clothes. But the moment he saw Alina, his expression changed. His eyes filled with tears. My little girl, he whispered. Alina didn't move. Kamran spoke first. Why now? I was in a dark place, the man said. I had problems, drinking, gambling. I was broken after my wife died. I didn't know how to be a father. Alina looked at him, still silent. But I've changed, the man continued. I've been in rehab. I got help. When I saw Alina's face on your charity page, I knew I had to make things right. He looked directly at Alina now. I know I don't deserve your love, but I want to try. Please, give me a chance. Tears rolled down Alina's cheeks. You left me, she said quietly. You didn't come when I was hungry. When I was cold, when they hit me at school. Where were you? The man's head dropped. I was a coward, but I'm not running anymore. Later that day, Kamran gave Alina space. She sat alone in the garden thinking. She picked up the old photo of her parents. Her father was smiling in it. Memories came rushing back, good ones and painful ones. Kamran joined her. You don't have to decide today, he said softly. Alina nodded. I don't know if I trust him, but I want to see if he means t. The next week, Alina met her father a few times, at a cafe in the park. Each time he brought a small gift, her favorite candy, an old photo, a story from the past. He never pushed her. He just listened. And slowly, Alina began to talk more. But something still didn't feel right. One evening, Kamran walked into his study and found a folder lying open on his desk. It was about Alina's father and what he had done before. Kamran's face changed. No, this can't be true. That night he sat with Alina. I need to ask you something, he said. Are you sure you feel safe with your father? Alina hesitated. I'm still not sure, but he's trying. Kamran nodded. There's something I have to show you. He opened the file. It had a police report. Alina's father had been involved in fraud, and something worse. He once tried to sell his daughter's birth certificate for money. Alina gasped. Her whole body shook. He try? Alina couldn't sleep. The file with her father's past lay open on the table. The words child endangerment and fraud kept echoing in her mind. Her hands trembled. Her heart hurt. The man who called her my little girl was he lying the whole time? Kamran sat quietly across the room. He didn't push her, he just waited. After a while, Alina whispered, maybe people don't really change. Kamran gently replied, some do, but only when they truly feel guilt, not when they want something in return. Alina stared at the floor. He said he missed me, but all I can think about now is how he left me, how he used to scream at my mom. Tears rolled down her cheeks. The next morning, Alina's father came again. He brought a small necklace, the one Alina wore as a baby. I kept it, he said. All these years. Alina looked at it, then at him. You said, you changed, she said. But why didn't you tell me about what you did? Why didn't you tell Kamran the truth? Her father froze. I wanted to, he said slowly, but I was afraid. I thought you wouldn't forgive me. You were right, she replied softly. He looked shocked. Please, I'm still your father. Alina stepped back. No, a real father doesn't sell his daughter's name for money. Outside the house, Kamran watched Alina's father leave, his head down, his steps heavy. Alina came and stood beside Kamran. She looked tired, but strong. Are you okay? Kamran asked. She nodded. I don't need a father who lies. I already have someone who saved me when no one else did. Kamran turned to her, surprised. You, she said. You didn't leave me in the cold. You gave me warmth, foods, and love. Kamran smiled. His eyes became wet. You deserve everything good in life, Alina. I'll always stand by you. Months later, Alina now lives in a warm home, goes to a new school, and smiles more often. She's joined art class and something she always dreamed of. One day, during a school event, she stands on stage with a drawing of her story, a girl sitting in the cold, and a man offering her his coat. The audience claps. Later, she walks up to Kamran, who sits in the front row. She hugs him tightly. You didn't. Just save me, she says. You taught me how to trust again.